15 years ago, two CIA agents, Emily and Matt, were seen getting ready for their mission. When they arrived at their destination, Emily told Matt not to bring any weapons because they were going to a birthday party for the target's child. The target, Balthazar Gore, was a former KGB agent who now led a dangerous mercenary group called Folka. Their superior and friend, Chuck, provided this information. Not long after, Emily spotted Gore and went up to him for a handshake, but really to get his fingerprints and voice. Chuck then pointed Emily and Matt to a room where Gore's secret safe was. With their gear and teamwork, they were able to nab the Industrial Control System, ICS, key, a dangerous device that could wreak havoc on electronic systems and even start a world war. But their victory was short-lived as Gore's henchmen found them. After taking out a few of Gore's guys, Emily and Matt ditched them and made it to a hangar to link up with a dude called Baron. Chuck sent Baron to help him out with getting back to base. Shortly after the plane took off, Matt made sure to keep the ICS key safe. Then, out of nowhere during the flight, Emily dropped a bomb. She was pregnant with his baby. Matt was totally caught off guard, but so stoked to hear the news. He even celebrated with some champagne. A little while later, when Emily needed to use the bathroom, a flight attendant mentioned that the plane's toilet was out of order. Emily sensed something was off and signaled to Matt. It turned out that Gore had sabotaged their flight. The flight attendant suddenly pulled out a gun on Emily and demanded that Matt return the stolen ICS key, threatening to kill Emily if he didn't. Not wanting anything bad to happen to Emily and their baby, Matt reluctantly gave up the key. Seizing the opportunity, Emily managed to escape and Matt lunged to attack the enemy. Matt and Emily were facing more and more enemies, but their teamwork helped them to gain control of the situation. Then, one of the enemies pulled a gun on Emily. Matt jumped in just in time to make him miss his shot. Unfortunately, the bullet ended up hitting the pilot. When the plane lost control and crashed into the mountain, Matt and the others were freaked out because there was no other pilot on board. And to make matters worse, the fake flight attendant swiped the ICS key they had snagged earlier. But luckily, Emily and Matt managed to escape the plane before it plummeted into the ravine.
What you doing? Don't let go!
You don't let go!
Emily was fed up with dealing with criminals and wanted out of the CIA. She told Matt that they needed to start fresh and cut ties with everyone. She figured they could fake their deaths in a plane crash and start over with new identities in a new place where they could live in peace and comfort. A couple of years later, Emily and Matt tied the knot and had two kids, Alice and Leo. It looked like they had successfully moved on and started fresh, but Emily's old habits wouldn't go away. She was still worried about her kids, especially Alice, picking up bad habits from other teens. So they started spying on Alice with binoculars, but she caught them and told them to leave right away. That night, Emily, who was super curious because Alice's laptop kept dinging, tried to open it, but the laptop was locked, so she had to figure out how to crack it. She found a bunch of message notifications from Alice's friends, which made her even more nosy. Shortly after that, Matt went up to Emily and asked what she was up to. Matt stayed positive and told Emily not to meddle in their kids' business, but instead of listening to her husband, Emily, being nosy, tried to crack the password once again. She used the word written behind the sticker on the laptop and, unexpectedly, it worked, and she managed to open the laptop. They then saw a bunch of messages from Alice's friends. Turns out that night, Alice didn't go to study with her friends, but went to a nightclub. This made Emily and Matt worried that something might happen to Alice, so they hurried to the location to bring their daughter home. As soon as Emily and Matt got to the club, they went straight to Alice, who was chilling with her friend and having some drinks, and told her she had to leave right away. Just as Alice was about to head out, following her parents' orders, the nightclub owner stepped in and stopped them, making Emily angry and causing her to start a fight with a man.
This happened so fast.
After kicking the guy's butt and his buddies, Matt noticed some dude filming the whole thing. So he snatched the guy's phone and got rid of the video of him and Emily throwing down. As they were heading home, Emily lied to Alice about their combat skills and said they were Taekwondo athletes to keep her from getting suspicious. Alice really disliked her parents, especially her mom, because they were too strict and nosy. She didn't know that Emily and Matt used to be awesome secret agents. She just thought her folks were dull and old-fashioned. The next day, out of the blue, Chuck showed up to see them. He had seen a video of their fight at the bar on the internet and tracked down their location. Chuck's main reason for being there was to get back the ICS key they had stolen, but when Emily told him that Gore's men had already taken it, Chuck didn't buy it. He said that Gore's men were still searching for the key they took, meaning Gore's group still didn't have it. Matt and Emily told Chuck he could come in, but then he got shot out of nowhere. It turned out that Gore's guys found them and started shooting at them. In that scary moment, they realized their kids might also be in danger. After grabbing a bag, they fooled the bad guys with their other car while Emily and Matt quickly got away in their usual car. In the middle of the intense chase, Matt dropped a bombshell on his wife when he revealed that he had actually snatched the ICS key they had stolen before and hid it at Emily's mom's house in England. This was why MI6 and Gore were still hot on their trail. Just a little bit later, they got to the school to pick up their kids. Leo and Alice asked their parents what was up. To throw off their kids, Emily said it was time for a trip to England to visit their grandma. Alice and Leo were definitely caught off guard because Emily had told them earlier that their grandma had passed away. Emily had planned to tell her kids the truth on the way to England, but Matt wouldn't let her because he thought it wasn't the right time. When they got to London, Alice saw that the family name on their passport had changed to Baker. Emily then quickly told her kids to get out without wasting any time. A little while after Emily and her family hopped on a bus, Baron, who was an MI6 agent, showed up at the airport intending to arrest them. One of Baron's colleagues, Wendy, mentioned that it was no surprise that Baron was so keen on arresting them, especially after seeing how pretty Emily was, who she knew was Baron's ex-girlfriend. Baron didn't want to acknowledge Wendy's words and just told her to focus on finding them. Meanwhile, on the bus, Matt saw a guy getting ready to get on and told Emily that this was their stop. Emily, being sneaky, managed to swipe the guy's car key and give it to Matt. Little did they know, they were being followed by Gore's men, who quickly told Gore where they were. Shortly after, when Leo wanted the Wi-Fi password in the car on the way to Emily's mom's house, Emily told her kids to give up their phones and not go online. While they were jamming to the tunes in the car, the gas light came on and Matt had to pull over at a gas station to fill up and grab some snacks for the kids. While they were pumping gas, Alice noticed that Leo's game console could get online and suggested he look up their parents' real identity. She believed they might have been kidnapped when they were little. It turns out their actions gave away their location to Gore, who then quickly told his men to go to the gas station. In just a few minutes, they showed up there. Emily and Matt had to paralyze them again in front of their kids. Alice and Leo were amazed at how skilled their parents were at defeating Gore's men. After paralyzing the enemies, Emily and Matt quickly took their two kids and left the area. As they approached the intersection, they bumped into Baron, who then immediately tailed them. Matt saw a concrete truck ahead and told Emily to speed up and get past it so he could shoot the chain holding the concrete and stop the chase. Matt and Emily finally came clean to Leo and Alice about their past as CIA agents and how they faked their own deaths. They were being targeted again by terrorists and MI6 because they stole a key from the terrorists. Leo and Alice didn't believe it at first, thinking their parents were too cool for that kind of secret past. When Leo tried to look up more info about their parents online, Matt snatched the console and chucked it out the window. Baron showed up at the gas station to see what was up, but Wendy thought he was acting sketchy because he knew stuff about the incident before they even tapped Emily and her family. Baron confessed that he had been listening in on Folka's communication system. Then his guy named Obayside told him they got a signal from Leo's game console. Baron told Obayside to head over to where the signal came from right away. In the morning, Emily was shocked to hear gunshots coming from her mom's house upon their arrival, only to find out it was her mom, Ginny, out hunting. Ginny didn't seem too surprised to see her grown-up grandkids. It turned out that for ages, Matt had been sneaking photos of his kids' milestones to Ginny without anyone knowing. Turns out Ginny used to be an agent for MI6 and had some serious skills as a sniper. When they got home, Emily was completely surprised to find out her mom was seeing a younger guy named Nigel. Matt and Emily didn't want to waste any more time, so after asking Nigel to take their kids to check out the house, they told Ginny the situation and why they came to see her. Matt also mentioned that he had hidden the ICS key in her house. Ginny found out that Matt had hidden the ICS key in her house. She complained that after years of not being home, Emily finally came home, only with a problem to discuss. The mother and daughter got into a debate where it was discovered that Emily hated her mother because she was always working and never had time for her. During their conversation, Alice secretly overheard everything. When Ginny left to see Alice, Matt took Emily to the spot where he stashed the ICS key. Meanwhile, Baron found Leo's game console and figured out they had been tricked. Shortly after, Baron got a tip from Wendy about Matt's car location using satellite. Knowing they were at Ginny's house, Baron sent some of his troops over there. At Ginny's place, a bunch of special forces snuck in after busting through the fence. And just as Emily and Matt got back from grabbing the ICS key, a chopper touched down in the yard. They hustled back inside and untied Ginny, who was already bound up. When Matt and Emily were searching for their kids, they were caught by the special forces and taken to a room where Alice and Leo were being held hostage. Matt then revealed that he had the key they needed, and Emily shouted out the name Baron, who they suspected was behind everything. Suddenly, Chuck appeared, surprising them all. It turned out the shooting was part of Chuck's plan, and Baron was actually a clean secret agent who had been tracking Folka and Gore for 15 years, revealing that the bad guy was him all along. So, it turns out Chuck was planning to sell the ICS key to some rich dudes to make a ton of cash. He had been out of the CIA game for 15 years since Emily and Matt disappeared with the key. He revealed that there were 3 groups all gunning for the key: Gore and his crew, Folka, Baron's CIA team, and him. Chuck then told his subordinate Daphne to check if the key was genuine, and she confirmed it. Ginny, who was set free by Matt earlier, was able to immobilize a few of Chuck's guys. When they heard the gunfire, Emily and Matt took the chance to start a fight. Chuck, who was cornered, grabbed Leo and Alice as hostages and made a run for the helicopter to get away. Emily quickly checked the security cameras in the area to see if she could find any clues about where Chuck might be taking Leo and Alice. When they saw Leo flashing his thumbs, which had a smart ring on them, Nigel realized that the ring had a GPS that could help them track their location. That night, Matt and Emily hurried to the location to rescue their 2 kids. Meanwhile, Daphne was getting ready for the demonstration that Chuck was going to do to test the ICS key in front of the rich people who were looking to buy it. Chuck also offered the key to Gore, but Gore turned it down because it actually belonged to him. When Gore found out the key was going to be auctioned that night, he sent his men to take it back. Chuck wanted to impress potential buyers, so he showed off the ICS key by shutting off all the power in London and even opening and closing the biggest river gate around. Without Chuck knowing, Matt and Emily, who discovered where he was, were on their way there. Once inside the building, they had to confront Chuck's guards. Meanwhile, Chuck managed to sell the ICS key to a Russian mafia for $250 million. After taking care of Chuck's guys, Emily and Matt got caught by Baron and his crew who showed up, but instead of busting them, Baron, who already knew that Chuck had the ICS key and had also grabbed Emily's kids, suggested they team up to nab Chuck and his cronies. When Chuck tried to run away, Matt and Emily chased after him and told a guy to let their kids go, but Chuck and the kids got on a ship and took off. Just as Emily and Matt were going to follow them, 2 of Gore's guys stopped them, but then Ginny shot one of the guys and stopped them. After Emily and Matt took off on their bikes, Gore's cronies hopped on their bikes to go after them. When Emily and Matt noticed they were being tailed, they took a different path to throw off their pursuers. Meanwhile, Chuck was freaking out about losing the ICS key and called Daphne to meet him ASAP at their meeting spot. As soon as Daphne left, Wendy showed up and saw the room was empty, so she told Baron that Chuck's crew had grabbed the key. In short, Emily stole a speedboat and told Matt to hop on right away. They sped off to chase Chuck. Meanwhile, Nigel, who was waiting for Ginny, spotted Daphne, who he thought had the key they were looking for. He crashed his car into Daphne's and found that his hunch was right. The ICS key was there, so he took it away. Using the ICS key Nigel had, Ginny told him to shut the river gate so that Chuck couldn't escape into the open waters. In the end, Matt and Emily hopped on Chuck's speedboat and took down his cronies on board. After getting her kids in life jackets, Emily tossed them in the river. Then, with Matt's help, she gave Chuck a serious beating before they both jumped off the speedboat. Chuck ended up dying when his speedboat crashed into the river gate. After a crazy journey, Emily, Matt, Alice, Leo, Ginny, and Nigel finally got the ICS key and handed it over to the CIA. Ginny and Emily hugged, showing that their relationship had gotten better. A few days later, the family relationship that was strained became better because of the incidents. Ginny went to the U.S. to watch Alice's match while Nigel and Leo played a game together. On the other hand, Emily and Matt were in the car when they were surprised to see Baron suddenly appear. He told them to go back to being CIA agents. He then revealed that even though they had the ICS key back, the CIA and the police couldn't find Chuck's body, meaning he was still alive and they needed to catch him. Baron also said that he needed Emily to recruit her father, who she thought was dead, but he was actually alive, which shocked her.